How's it going, everybody? My name is Splattercat, and welcome to the next episode of our Towns LP. So I fully realize that I've got some splaining to do for you guys. I haven't been playing Towns that much lately because it's been very, very crashy, and I have been working with support on the forums to get it fixed, but so far, to no avail. It is just so ridiculously crashy for me that I can't really get episodes done, so I'll get about 5-6 minutes into an episode, it'll crash on me. So, unfortunately, there's technical issues right now. Now, the developers are being very cool, and they are personally helping me with the issue, which is something I've never seen before in any game. So you have to say that to the developers' credit. They are attempting to help me with these issues. They are helping me fix things. Every single day, they've got a new little post for me on the forums. And it's been very cool, and it's one of those things that adds to the whole process of LPing this game and makes me really appreciate the developers that much more for taking that good of care of one of their, one of their customers who plays this game a lot. I mean, I play this game like crazy. So, that being said, we did have a patch day in between now and the last time that I played the game. So let's discuss what's going on new with the patch. First and foremost, let's talk about the UI changes. So let's talk about some of the new little things that you have to look forward to. So, let me put my guards on guard mode anyways. I think they've cleared out the floor down there, so I don't need them to be on patrol. So there we go. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that we now can speed the game up to +5, and this is a big deal for me. This helps me get so much construction done that it basically puts my townies into crack mode, and they just go ridiculously crazy. They smoke up all the crack in the town, and they just run around like crazy, just passing time and building things at Mach 10 or Mach 5 or whichever Mach you would prefer. I mean, Mach 5 is pretty sweet because Speed Racer's involved, but that aside, and he has a killer, what are those things called? Those kerchiefs that everybody wore like in the 60s and 70s around their neck. It has a name. I googled it one time because it was after I watched Scooby-Doo, and I was just really, really intoxicated, and for some reason I got super fixated on the fact that I wanted to know what that thing was called around his neck, and I looked it up, but I can't remember now. Anyways, this being able to speed up the townies is incredible. It's one of my favorite things they've ever added, and it helps me get so much more work done, and I've been playing the game a lot more because of it. So that's a change that has definitely worked in the game's favor. Another change that you'll want to be aware of, and probably the most single-handedly important ease of access and ease of life change, is right here in your citizens menu. Look right here the next time you play the game. This is such a substantial change, and I just got a text message from my girlfriend in the other room saying that it's called an ascot. So now I remember it's called an ascot. So there you go. Anyways, as I was saying, this box right here, or there's not a box, but these little arrows right here allow you to set the minimum map level to which your townies will go to gather, equip, and to craft items. Now, this is such a massive change in the way that you're going to approach the game that you really want to give attention to this. I have mine set to the -4, and so what does this mean? In a more simple explanation, this means that this is the maximum floor they will go down to haul items. And if you played the game before, which you obviously probably did, you would know that if you sent your townies too deep to get bones or to get ice or anything else, they would starve to death or get themselves killed by monsters, and you could never predict where they were going. Now, I have mine set to the -4 because that's safe and I have it taken care of. There's no monsters down there, and they can also get down to that level without starving. You'll also see that I've taken the liberty of equipping most of my townies with helmets. Not all of them, but a lot of them have bone helmets. I would like to get them all rolled over to bone armor and things of that nature so that they are more defensive in case we take a siege, which is a distinct likelihood. We've gone a long, long time without a siege. Other things that are changed, they have added new items, so let's go to our bricks menu here. There's nothing new in the wood menu except for this corner right here. That's right, we can now add corners. They have convex corners, concave corners, and straight corners, so you can make octagons, hexagons, rounded off, kind of weird concave octagons, whatever you would like. This menu, nothing new here, nothing's changed, except maybe this light wooden wall, possibly, but I don't remember very well. My memory is atrocious, guys, so never count on my memory. If you ever come to a situation where your life depends upon Splattercat's memory, you are hosed. Just find a pistol and shoot yourself now, because I'm going to fail you. In our stone blocks menu here, we have some new ones. So we have some new masonry, namely these three right here, and they look pretty cool. I like them. I'm probably going to use them in a building. It's large blocks, so I really, really like them, and I haven't had a chance to use them, but they will get used in the future. Other things we have to look at here are in our roofs. We have a domed roof, so we can make kind of Arabic type buildings or Middle Eastern type buildings with minarets and things of that nature in case you got to go to prayer in the morning. And here we don't have anything new, I don't think. So there's nothing new in here aside from possibly this grass terrace. I'm not sure if that's new or not. You guys can fill me in the comments. I don't pay very good attention. Here in our other menu, here's what I was telling you about. So we've got the concave walls here and the convex rounding. We've also got a new few blocks, kind of some red brick going on, some white brick, some kind of snowy brick and gray. You've also got these upraised floors, which I haven't played around with, but from what I can tell, they're floors that are raised up inside your building that you would need stairs to walk up on. I don't really know what the appeal of those would be. I haven't used them yet. In our decorative menu, you'll find that graves and tombs have been modified and retrofit so that we can now put our heroes into graves that are specifically for their hero type. So there's ones for knights here, there's ones for Highlanders, there's ones for even the named heroes, Sips and Punchwood, and also Vex. And if we go to our stockpile menu, we'll go up here to our stocks panel, you'll see that it keeps track of how many corpses you have too, which is a really cool feature. So bearing that in mind, all of these stocks are kept. Now I've noticed, I think that mud deteriorates now. All of my mud disappeared between the patching, so I don't know if that's true or not, so don't quote me on it, but keep an eye on your mud supply because somebody is definitely thieving it from me. So if they're stealing from me, I would hope they're stealing from you too, just so I don't feel left out. So let's get going with some construction here. We want to get rid of this by the end of the episode. I really don't want to look at this anymore. I don't like its positioning. I don't like where it's at. So let's get to work. And you'll apologize. I apologize for saving as always. Until I get these issues taken care of, I'm just going to keep on saving and hoping that we don't have a ridiculous crash. So we were using these pinkish blocks, and I don't know why these are so appealing to me, but I like them very, very much. I like the kind of exotic, not necessarily exotic, but the kind of desert feel it gives the whole thing. And even though we're surrounded by greenery, I like to give everything a desert vibe. And since our walls over here are up to the 3rd layer, we're going to try and get these up to the 3rd layer as well. Now, I only have 1,000 stone, and I say 1,000 stone, and that's not really only, but we go through a lot of stone now that I can speed up construction. And you can see here, shazowie, and that's what I say when I experience success. I yell shazowie. I do it all the time, even at inopportune times, weddings, shazowie, you know, funerals, shazowie. Just running around using my catchphrase, hoping it'll stick. It doesn't seem to so far. Now, once they get all these blocks placed, we will be able to mess around with the building down here. Now, I know for a fact, and I'm kind of freehanding this right now, so my Lego skills are going to be put to the test. And I'm going to freehand this. I would like this to be somewhat circular. So let me see what I can do here. I'm going to work from both ends because I'm one of those people that if I try to do it one side and then mirror it, I always mess it up. So I'm going to move slow here. And there we are. And we've got 5 here, 5 here, 6 and 6. And then I think the 7th is going to be where we cross it. So we got 7 there. And then let's go out. It looks like we've got 6, 8, 10, 12, and that'll give us 13 total. Okay. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Fantastic. And that should look nice. And once we get those all done, I think on that side I had 7 of these. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I apologize on this counting lesson, but unless I count these out, I'm going to mess this up. I promise you. I will just make a ridiculous atrocity out of this whole thing. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we are. And then run it across. And oh no, we're not lined up. Oh dear. Well, I suppose that's okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so did I count improperly. Maybe I didn't put that one in time. Luckily, that's why we do this with everything paused. So we'll go one more up here. There we go. And that should get us evened out. And now, there we are. Are we golden? Are we golden? We're golden. Fantastic. What's better than being golden? Well, I guess being platinum. I don't really know what the word is for being platinumed. I guess platinumed would be the word. Platumiated? I don't know. I'm just making up words at this point. To pass the time, and we need to put in a new window over here, so let's go to our decorative menu, or our furniture menu. They count windows as furniture. Now, you can't sit on them. I always think of furniture as things you can sit on or sit things on. That would be my definition of furniture. Things that can bear weight of other objects upon them. And it looks like they screwed up a window somewhere around here, so that's fine. And then the other thing that I want to do, I'll probably put windows going this way in the same fashion, but for now I'm going to leave it alone so that I don't get ahead of myself. Once they start placing these blocks, while they're placing those, let's talk about some of the easier things that I've done. So we know about these barrels over here, or the ease of life, or the ease of access things that I've done. I always use those phrases. I don't know if I'm using them properly, but you'll see down here I've added a ton more barrels. That's because they actually allow you to just paint barrels now. You can paint barrels all over the place, and I don't mean painting them red, blue, and green. I mean you can actually rubber band box an area and it will fill it with barrels. Now I've assigned these all to stone so that I have stone nearby. I know I already have stone stockpiled over here, but this was not sufficient. I decided to get a wee bit more. So we have more stone over here. And hold on, things are blinking at me and I want to make sure everything's okay. Alright, so I reinstalled the game, so all of my settings are not saved. Now, these barrels over here are for iron, coal, and I think copper, but I don't think we found any copper yet, and these ones are unassigned. I haven't decided what I want to do with these just yet, because I'm going to leave it tentative at the moment. I'm going to leave them tentatively empty in case there's other things that I need to supply. I've also considered putting maybe some ite barrels down here, some ite chests, just so we can have some magical armor. But I haven't put in ite smithies or anything yet. We just have glass everywhere. I should probably put in some barrels that hold glass and get my haulers on that so that everything's not looking so ugly. Now, this was not the original plan for my tavern. I had one drawn out on paper, but I felt like that was a little artificial. I felt like I was cheating a little bit. And while it was very cool and it was architecturally unique, I will say that about it. I enjoyed the way it looked, but I didn't want to bore you guys by doing something like, all right, let me go to my blueprint here. Thumb to the mouth trying to make sure that everything's built properly. Instead, I'd rather freehand with you guys, so that's what we're going to do for now. Now, this is a bit more bulbous than the doorway we're going through, and I do want this to be divided off. Did we start wrong here? No, we didn't. Okay, good. So I'm going to take... Are we out of bricks? We've already used up 130 bricks, so we are moving, but that's good. We like to move it, so that's the best we can do at the moment. I'm going to put in a wall right there. And I think that's the center, so that looks fine. And we're going to put some doors in right there, and once the doors are in, we're going to have everything subdivided. So I would like this to have multiple floors. I'd like this to have multiple levels, so I may have it collapse in a little bit. I haven't really decided, to be honest. Freehanding things it can backfire on you horribly. You can end up with this over here, this ridiculous clown house. I know some of you guys like it, but every time I see this thing, I'm just like, and it just makes me want to pass a kidney stone or something. Now, over here you'll see that we have been messing with the dining room, and for whatever reason, after the patch drop, they built it up perfectly fine. I rubber band boxed things just like before. Being the stubborn bastard that I am, I didn't take your advice. I probably should have. I should almost always listen to my comments, but sometimes I'm like, no, I want to do it. And so I try to solve things myself, and then they never turn out properly. So, what did we learn? I should probably just do whatever you guys say, because you guys seem to have a pretty good handle on things versus me, who... I'm generally confused most of the time. As I said, I always dwell in my state of nubity. And so once they get those blocks in place, if it bothers you that I'm playing with the game fast forwarded, I apologize. Let me know down in the comments, because this is a new thing. I've never had the opportunity to do this before, so I am actually able to get things done in each episode. We don't have to wait for each building process just to take forever. And so if you're interested in just going through it a little slower, let me know. And I'll try to... I don't know how many people are trying to build along with me. I don't know who in God's name would ever want my ugly-ass buildings in their city, but maybe somebody wants my buildings. I mean, I'm fond of this one. I like this building for some reason. It reminds me of the Mario Castle at the end. I don't know why. It doesn't look anything like the Mario Castle, but every time I see it, I want to do the do-do-do-do-do-do thing. So that's what it reminds me of every time I see it. I should put a flagpole next to it so the people can jump onto it. Although, I don't know. I might end up with townies stuck on there a la Christmas Story. They'll try and lick it once winter comes around. Now, let's finish this off over here. So, maintaining momentum, we'll go like so. And let's get the second layer put in on here, because I really, really do want to at least have sizable damage done to the Tavern project before we go much further. And there we are. We'll get rid of that. And once all these are lined up, I feel pretty... Oh no. We have a design malfunction, so let's get rid of that. There we are. Fantastic. And so we'll go back across here. And once these are done, I'm going to feel pretty good once this is all finished off. I'm going to be really honest. I feel good about this whole situation. Sometimes when I have a building going, I don't feel good about it, and it's tough for me to maintain my momentum. It's tough for me to maintain my ambition with it, with the project in general. Now... Oh, we went up to the 4th layer. I didn't think I went up to the 4th layer. So we're going to have to add extra bricks everywhere else too. So we're just going through stone like crazy. These projects eat up my stone supply. That's why I say I have 1,000 stone, but now that I can speed up construction, it's tough for me to say like how long that stone is going to last. I know that 1,000 stone would probably last me 2 or 3 episodes beforehand, but now maybe 1 episode if I'm lucky. And so let's get that next wall gone, and we'll check our stocks. We're down to 750, so yeah, we've done 200 stone already during the course of this episode, and I may try to cut this one a little shorter just because it seems like the longer I run the episode, the greater the chances that it's going to crash. This building has been completed, and we didn't talk about that yet. So this building, I'm super happy with the way it came out. This one has not turned into a weird camel like this one. Well, this one's not a camel. If you guys don't know what a camel is, it's a project that has too many people putting the input in, and I do have a lot of conversations going on in my head, so maybe it's some kind of just psychopathic or crazy camel, just from the voices in my own head, just the dozens of them all arguing with each other about how to build. But this one over here turned out amazing. I'm really happy with the way everything has finished off over here, although this doesn't look right. So let me add blocks right here real fast. And I don't know how I missed that all along. We'll just put blocks right there. And this has turned into my atelier. And so you see I've started making my dyes. I did take the advice that you guys gave me in the last comment saying that I could automate things. If you go to your vanity menu over here, for those of you who may not see that comment, it's right here. You can actually automate how many flowers you want to gather and how many dyes you want to make. I just keep 5 on hand of each color because I don't really know when I'm going to use my colors. Just a couple of them. Sometimes you end up building something that's gaily colored. To use an out-of-date term. I discussed that with a friend of mine, like how certain terms are just like out of date now, like they don't mean what they meant 50 years ago, and I can't really think of any more right now. Like gay is the one that pops to mind just completely, how things get redefined as time goes along. And we'll drop that over to here, and hooray, it's all finished off. So let's put a roof in. And I think this place deserves a nice green roof. So let's go to our dyes menu, vanity, and then over to colors, and let's get a few more green dyes ready. Now they are just storing them everywhere, like there's dyes just laying around. This whole area looks like a Skittle bag just got murdered. Skittle CSIs have been up in here with magnifying glasses and ridiculous programs, and they've been zooming in on all the Skittle pictures and being like, alright, clarify that, which you can't do, by the way. As somebody that has been fiddling with Photoshop, you cannot do that. You get the pixels you get. And don't let CSI convince you otherwise, being the CSI addict that I am. And did somebody get murdered over here? What in the hell? What has occurred over here? Who's dead? What's going on here? Oh, we have multiple sieges? Oh no. There's 3 sieges. Siege. Okay, so let's go to combat here. Oh my god, we just lost. So we had a major invasion. So that would probably... And we've got another... Who just died? John Cosine. Oh, there's a ghost. Damn it. You guys are killing me here. You guys are... Well, John Cosine. He's a fan of Trig. We gotta put him on all of our... So he dropped that stone brick right there. So we have some more corpses. Let me take stock of how many corpses we have. So we've got corpses. We've got like 5. God. Alright, let's get to work here. The temple over here is getting it's getting very well stocked. I'm not gonna... Oh no, I messed up. Never mind. So we're gonna destroy the pavement road there. And someone suggested, and I'm no good with names. I apologize so much for not giving credit on these sorts of things because I really should. But I had a suggestion from a viewer that I put a masonry below this to hide the fact that there was empty space underneath the graves. You are the best. You are my hero. That worked out swimmingly. It worked out amazingly. So you are my champion of the episode, even though I can't remember names, and I apologize. I apologize so much for not being able to remember. Now, let's go to our decorative menu. We've got some graves to put in here because we found ourselves in a bit of a dire situation. I'm not going to use the easy pun there. Don't ask me to do it. I refuse. So we'll put the roads there, and we had 5 dead people. There we go. So we are just seeing dead people everywhere. There we go. Bruce Willis is all involved in our town now, talking to all of our children who are seeing dead people. It's a risk of the job. You got to tell people when they move into Boo, your chances of surviving are not so good if you come up in here. Now we do have an ironmonger here, someone who's come willing to sell us weaponry and bits and bobs. And even though we have an iron mine, I'm not going to buy from him. We have an iron mine already. We will use him as kind of a chauffeur or kind of a gopher to get rid of some of our gear though. So what do we have here? We've sold off most of our mud. What do we have that he could tangibly want? Does he have gold? Because I see he'll take gold. Hold on. Let me go back through his stock and make sure he doesn't have gold anywhere. Okay, so he doesn't have gold, so we're not going to kind of stick him up for all of his gold, but we've got lots of green dyes here that are getting made. Never mind. I'm not going to sell him something. We'll sell him a wee bit of wood, and that's at $12.50 now. We'll sell him some of our coal because we do have a pretty sizable stock of coal. Ooh, too much. Hold on, let's go back here. There we go. And so one more maybe? All right, and then we'll just fill that in. And now that we can speed things up, hauling goes a lot quicker too. And so now that that's all in its place, I am really loving this Let's Play. Once again, the developers have listened to all the things that we've said as players, and I think it's very, very cool of them to have taken care of business and gotten things rocked out. So I am so excited about playing the game. Once again, I have been renewed, refreshed, and ready to roll. It just feels like I've had a town's shower. Like, I just feel amazingly just clean and ready to go with the game once again. So we should look forward to seeing many, many more episodes of this in the future. I have no clue how many hundreds of episodes I might make of this. We're going to fill up the map eventually, and then I would love to make a desert map. I have always wanted to play around with the desert map. I do have one running in one of my alternate games, but I haven't showed it to you guys. But it's one of those extra plays that I do on the side, and the desert map is a lot of fun. I've never done a snow map because there's so many yetis and things around that are all trying to eat me that I just feel very threatened. I don't feel very safe, and I think that's the point of the whole snowy area. But let's put our masonry back to make everything look nice once again. Masonry? Why won't you lay, masonry? Let's see here. Masonry? Maybe I said balcony. Did I click the wrong thing there? I did. I totally clicked the wrong thing. It's all my fault. There we go. And look, right there. Looks perfectly fine. Nobody, unless they were staring at that, would see anything wrong with it. And I love it. We also need to get an arena going, and I may turn this into a mini badger arena quite possibly, just to see how things go, because I've never played around with one. In Mount Worthless, that was what we were always working towards. That was the carrot on our stick, and we just never got around to it. It never happened, and I feel like my queue may be messed up for all this hauling that's going on. Is it? Because I don't see any building taking place, even with things sped up. Okay, so now we've got building going. Amazing. Amazing. So let's look into possibly placing all of the rounding objects that we wanted. So we're going to go to our walls menu. We're going to play around with these. Now, these do take stone and mud. I don't really know. Oh, it's the wrong color, so it's going to look a little funky. Well, then let's play with another idea that I had. I wanted to make a little garden area right here, and the scaffold is it's in the way right now, but we'll leave it as is. I may move these fields around in the near future, although that's not going to be a task that I want to tackle during the course of this LP. Let's get our stairs lined up, because I haven't had an opportunity to put stairs in just yet, and I do want to do that before I start making decisions about how I want everything to look. And so that'll probably take us up to the next floor right there. And actually, if I put them on both sides, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's put stairs on both sides. I feel really good about that. So let's put stairs there. And maybe, oh, that's 3 out. Never mind. We're going to keep construction going, by the way, because I do want things to get done. So we'll go that right there. And I think that's going to be our staircase for the time being on both sides. That'll probably end up looking pretty cool, I think, because that'll give us a walkway through the center, and I'll set up some type of tile motif in here. We didn't get more sieges, did we? Okay, good. God, let me go into the options real fast. Normally I would edit stuff like this, but let's see. Pause the game when a siege starts. There we go. So that was an option that I strongly suggest. I really do suggest you guys enable it. If you don't, you're going to end up with mass casualties like I just had, because your guards just can't adapt to the situation quick enough. And I don't know if I want to make this part communal housing as well. I may. We'll see what happens there. I know I always say that. I'm always like, we'll see what happens, and we don't do a lot of seeing, but let me get this last layer laid down, and then I think that's where I'm going to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in our next episode of our Towns LP. It's been a lot of fun. I always enjoy having you guys here. I always enjoy your comments following these episodes, and honestly, you guys have been a lot of help to me in the past, so you guys help me out with your comments as well. I learn a lot of things, and it keeps you in check too. It keeps the ego in check, because sometimes when you play a game a lot, you tend to think of yourself like, I'm an expert at that game. But when you're LPing, you learn very quickly that people are always going to know more than you, and they're always going to be willing to let you know what you're doing wrong and to help you get your footing. So all that said, we're going to finish the tavern in the next episode. Thank you for joining me here in the township of Boo. I hope you'll join me next time, and take care out there, everybody.